Hey, this is Andy Brown, and this fall along, we're going to take a look at utilizing the wait command to see when a resource is ready. We're going to launch an EC2 instance, so this is a little bit more involved than some of our other ones, but that's okay. We're going to just get to it. And I have this AWS examples repo. I think it's going to be a lot easier doing that in here as opposed to doing this in Cloud Shell. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my cloud developer environment, which is Gitpod. Use what you'd like to use, but that's what I'm using because it's easy for me to use. So this is going to open up, and I have an API directory here. I'm going to make a new folder called wait. And in here, I'm going to make a new README because there's a couple things we need to set up. The first is we need to create an EC2 instance. And then we need to watch for EC2 instance to be ready, okay? So if we go over here, and I just went over to EC2. So we go to EC2 here. They're going to have wait command down below. And so let's take a look at what we could watch for. We have instance running or status OK. Status OK is usually a pretty good one to have. So I'm going to go down to examples. And here we have one where we're just applying the instance ID. So I'm going to go here and do this. Okay. And we're going to want the instance ID. I'm just going to pretend that we already have it and put this here like that. And we'll put this on one line. Okay. And then I want to write have a CLI command that's going to just return back exactly the instance ID. So if I go here on the right-hand side, I should have auto prompt turn on. I do, excellent. And then we can take a look here and maybe start an EC2 instance. So we'll say EC2 launch provision. I kind of forget what it is. I'm not sure why I can't remember. It's such a common command, but what we'll do is just take a look here. I always find it easier when I can see all the commands in front of me. We'll go here and it's launch, right? Is it not launch? No. Wow, I really can't remember. Well, let's go ask ChatGPT. What is the CLI command for AWS to launch an EC2 instance? Run instances, of course. Okay, all right, we'll go back here and we'll just maybe use the other problem to do that. So we have run instances. Okay, and it should tell us some of the requirements it needs. It's not really doing that. We'll definitely need an image type or an image ID. So let's just go back over to, yeah, it's giving me a bunch of stuff. That's fine. But we'll go into run instances and just use the documentation because this one's a little bit more involved. And they might also have an example for us. They do. That's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one here. And there's a couple things that we're going to need to change. I'm just going to get out of this down here below. And we'll paste this in here and say allow. Whoops. Try this again. Allow. And we're going to need the AMID. We're going to have to choose a type. T2 micro is fine. And then there's a key pair. I'm not interested in having a key pair, but we might need to specify that. I need to get the image ID for our current area. So that's something I would like to have. We should be able to list out our AMI. Oh, but it's a lot of work because we'll have to search for it. It's a lot easier to get in the console. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pretend that I'm going to launch an EC2 instance via the console here. And then we're going to grab that AMI. So it says I'm in North Virginia, but that computer or this environment's here in CA Central 1. So match to whatever you need to match for. AMIs are region specific. So you can't just take this code that I have and use it. Okay. You have to go and open this up and grab it. All right. So here we have Amazon Linux 2023, and I just want to grab its AMI. So it's right there. And you can really tell that AWS does not, the people that make this are not the people that are using it via the CLI, because if they did, they would design this in a different way. But anyway, this is the AMI that we want here. And I'm going to go back over to here. And again, this is going to be different based on your region. So make sure you do not just take this or type this in. It will not work. So image ID, instance type. Do we need the key name? Because I don't really want to have a key pair. So we'll have that. What I want to know is the output from this. So I'm going to go over here and type in AWS run instances. I'm just going to have an incomplete typing here. I'm going to see if I can pull up the output. So I'm going to hit F5 for that. Cancel, sorry, function F5. And so notice that I'm trying to hit it, but it's not working here. Shift F5. So how do I use F5 keys in terminal for VS Code? You can press Control F5. Yeah, so this is the thing is like I can't get the output here, which is kind of frustrating. So what I'll do is just open up Cloud Shell really quickly so that I can quickly write my query. So I think I saw this enabled from before. Ah, I do, excellent. And we type in EC2, run instances. And then we will type in query. And then I can kind of narrow down what it is that I want. So I'll put squares. And then what I'm looking for is the instance ID. So this is what I want in terms of output. So go ahead and copy that. The other thing is that I want this to return back text. So say output text. And so now what we can do is we can then assign this output, which is the instance ID, to our environment variable here. All right, and that's going to make our lives a lot easier. Okay, so will this work? I don't know, because we don't have that key name in there, but we'll find out here in just a moment. No default VPC for this user. Group name is only supported for EC2 Classic and default VPC. So I guess we have to specify a little bit more information. I guess that example wasn't that great, but this might be for CLI version 1. So let's go up to version 2 and make sure we're using the latest. That might be the reason why. No, it's not different, but that's fine. So we'll just look through here and see where we configure that VPC. VPC. VPC ID. That's the output. I want to know where to configure that. Yeah, it like says default VPC. Why would I have to specify anything? Should not pick up the default. So it says group name is only supported for EC2 Classic. And default VPC. Oh, output not found. Okay, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Did I launch an EC2 instance and I just didn't realize it? Let's go take a look here. No. All right, we'll try this again. Copy. Type in clear, and we'll paste this in, hit enter. An error occurred, VPC ID not specified. So I guess we do have to specify a VPC ID. It's just really hard to find that flag. Let's go ahead and type it in here. And maybe it'll be easier to find this way. Instances. Okay. It's not there. So where does it get configured? Let me go find it, okay? So you're not watching me just struggle try to find it. All right, so looking at the examples, I'm just scrolling down a little bit more, and it looks like there's a few more. So to launch an instance into a non-default subnet, I mean, I'd love to use the default subnet. I'm not sure why it wouldn't just use it. So that's kind of interesting. Let's go back over to here, read the error again. VPC ID not specified. No default VPC for this user. All right, well, I guess we could specify a subnet and see if that resolves the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And we'll go into VPCs, I guess. And I'm in Canada Central 1, so I got to just make sure I know where I am. And it could be that I don't have the default VPC anymore. Well, it says it's, oh, okay, so this is my problem. It probably worked for you, and the reason why it's not working for me is I don't have a default VPC. So if I go here, because I must have made one before and then it got deleted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to US East 1. Sorry. And this is probably fine. Okay, so my other issue is that this is specific to the region I'm in. So I'm going to have to go here and go back to EC2 and go grab that other one there. And if we go into, why is there an instance running in here? My server. How old is this server? Yeah, I don't know why this one's running here. I'm just gonna kill it. Me just spending money, not even knowing what this is. So anyway, I'm shutting that down here. But what I'm gonna do here is, yeah, again, I don't know why this is here. Anyway, but what I want to do is pretend I'm launching an instance, and I want to again go ahead and grab this AMI. Okay, we'll go back over to here, and we'll paste this in. And notice that it changed because we're in a different region. And then I'm going to try this again and paste this in and hit enter. And it says unknown option T2 micro. I mean, T2 micro is a type. Is it still available here? I thought it would be. Go down below. T2 micro is right there. What's it talking about? So let me go take a look here to instance type. I mean, we really should use T3 micros because they're newer. T2 micro. Yeah, I mean, it's what it provided us, but if it doesn't like that, happy to change it to a T3. Oh, you know what it is? It's because there's not a space here. So that'll probably fix that issue. But I'm going to switch it to T3. T2, T3, depends on what you want to do. I think T3s are free, so free tier AWS EC2. Go over to here. T3s in regions in which T2 is unavailable. So just in case that's the case, I'm going to switch back to T2. If this is the future, you might not even have T2, and you'll have to do that. So I'll just change it to this. We'll hit enter. And it says invalid AMI ID not found when calling the run instances. The image ID does not exist. Really? Oh, you know what? We have to specify our region here. So let's say region US East 1, because I'm defaulted to CA Central. That's why we're having this issue. We'll go ahead and hit enter. Are you sure about that? Because I'm in the right region and it's right here. I guess I could wrap it like this. And we'll try this again. Copy. Enter. Oh, you know what? There's a space after here, so it probably didn't execute in US East 1. You got to be really careful with these commands. And there we go. So now if we type in echo instance ID, we now have that. So what we can do is just run this command next and see when it's ready. The only thing is I have to make sure I specify the the region here, or it's not going to work. So it's a US East 1. I'm trying to go as quick as I can. All right. And type in clear here, paste this in. And hit enter. And so now it should wait, right? Okay, so nothing super exciting here, as it's not showing us any output. I don't think it's supposed to. Let's go take a look here. We'll go check out wait here. And we'll look for status OK. The following wait example pauses and resumes running only after it's confirmed the status of the specified instance is OK. All right, so we'll go over here and watch our EC2 instance spin up. So what we're looking for is that status OK to appear, and it has initializing right now. And notice that it's still in that mode, so I'm not sure if it's going to print something out to us or if it's going to just return the terminal back to us. Notice that it doesn't show any output, so maybe there is no output and it's just going to stop here. But this will take a few minutes, so I'm just going to pause here and I'll be back in a moment, okay? All right, so let's take a look here and see if it has its status check. So it does. If we go back over to the CLI, notice that is returned. So where would this be useful? I would imagine that if you're running, let's say, a bash script, and you had a series of commands, you'd want to have your, like, this command here, and then you'd want to hold this one before you ran the next one. It would hold up the script. So that'd probably be a really good use case for this wait command. Though we didn't really demonstrate that in a bash script, but you know, in the future, I guess that would be what we would want to do with that. But let's make sure we get rid of the EC2 instance. I'm just going to do it the easy way and say terminate instance. There you go. And we are done. We'll see you in the next one. Okay. Ciao.